Hey, welcome to Ed, a podcast about the teaching life. This is Check-In 39, and I'm your host, Shane Lawrence. Ed is a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network, powered by ATB. And joining me this month is Sean Smith.
Hello.
And coming back from I don't know where is Jessica Moen.
Hi.
Yay, you're back.
She waved for the record.
She waved. Yeah, that's good. Good way to go. You're a little rusty.
I am a little rusty. It's been a while.
Hi, everyone. You can't see me, but I'm waving right now.
Enthusiastically like a nerd.
It's true.
Yeah. This is going to be a great episode. It's just basically going to be the two of you fighting, I'm sure.
We've just started with welcome and we're already at it.
Yep, that's good. Are you kidding me? You've been fighting a lot offline.
And we're back.
It's good. All right. All right, you two kids.
Quit. Oh my God.
Sorry, that was me waving with two hands enthusiastically.
I think we can actually hear your clothing rustling.
That's what I was hoping. This is like, what's it called? Action, theater, radio.
Theater of the mind? Is that
Theater
it?
of the mind.
There you go.
I'm waving with one hand.
Don't look at him.
And now two hands.
Yeah, just don't look at her. Just ignore
Sorry.
it. He's not there. Okay.
Hey, welcome back.
All right. Anyway, we're going to be having our regular show. We got wins. We got wins and fails, and we're going to be talking about teacher quotes, inspirational quotes, because part of my bio is like, we have no inspirational quotes, and so we decided I just go completely against the grain, and so this episode is completely about quotes. And then we're going to, of course, have our timeouts at the end. So let's start with wins and fails, and I'm ready to go. So I'm going to. Oh, wait. Okay, there's a lot of pointing going on. More theater of the mind. All right, I'm going to go because I'm ready. Because it's not a big fail necessarily, but it was just a big old face plant in class yesterday. Where I was trying to do a tutorial with my children just to teach them. We're doing Adobe Premiere, and so I was trying to teach them some stuff. But I had some software installed on one computer, but not on the other. But then I need the other computer to show them how to operate, to manipulate files in Windows, and then on my Mac is in the back of the room. So I'm trying to switch between these two things on the projector, and nothing is working. And I'm having to pull out cords and put cords back in. Oh, just hang on a second, kids. Okay. You're going to switch over here. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, hang on one sec. Just absolute freaking gong show. Just by the end of it was just like 30 confused faces. I'm like, just try and figure it out. Just go. It was a mess, an absolute just. So it was. And then today I did the exact same tutorial and just nailed it. So that's the coda.
Win and fail.
So yeah, except that I still have the other class, and they're just like, "What are we doing?" I'm like, "I don't know."
Oh, different class.
Two different classes.
Yeah,
two different classes. So I have them again tomorrow. This class.
Same assessment.
Oh, it was garbage. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was awful. Like I felt like a student teacher.
Nice.
Yeah, they're better than I am.
Shout out to the student teachers.
No, they're always so organized. We have some in the building, and they're adorable.
Yeah,
they have everything just so organized, and they have like their lesson plans. They're like, first I will say this, and then the students will do this, and then I will say this, and this relates to these learning objectives.
I like that you just described them as adorable.
They are.
No, it's very true, and they have everything written out, like in brackets, pause after something.
Yeah.
And then the really fun moment is when you walk in and you actually catch them saying pause. It's like, okay, and now students, can you be seated? Pause. I'm really actually quoting from my life because that's what I did once.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
It's like, pause. I'm like, I mean, and I tried to cover for myself, but it was far too late. So
oops.
The professionals in the room caught me.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Wins and fails.
You go.
Okay. I'm going to say, I'd like to think that I thought about this beforehand, but I did not.
Okay.
It's been like a good year since I've been on the podcast, so I forgot how it all goes. Wins and fails.
Can we call you rookie?
Nope.
Yes.
Going to anyway.
Go ahead,
I'm going
rookie.
to say a win because I chose to take my lunch break the other day and closed my office door and turned off the light and spent 28 minutes in solitude. And that is not a fail. That is a win.
I think that's a win.
That's a brilliant win.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
not like
awesome.
a teacher. I used to be an EA, if anybody has followed the podcast through the whole thing. Now I've gone into social work in the school system. And sometimes, most times, lunchtime is the time that is the busiest, which I think maybe is probably just like every other teacher in EA, hey, lunchtime. So,
yeah.
No, but the way you walk out your life too, that's like huge.
Yeah, usually I try to be on the playgrounds with the kiddos playing and stuff. I feel like that kind of, I don't know why I'm talking about this in wins and fails, but
it's all good.
Yeah, my win is that I had a wonderful
Solid.
28 minutes in the dark.
Nice.
And every listener is like, man,
The luxury.
that is a high level of win if I could ascribe to that once.
The luxury, I know.
Yeah.
Well, not even luxury, just like good
Well,
on
do
you.
you ever find that like you actually have to like hide or like huddle in a corner with like,
for sure.
because you got kids like looking in your window and
Oh,
it's-
for sure.
like, I mean, I like to have my room open for kids when, so they can come in and get help and all the rest of it and relationships and
Oh, look at you.
all that good stuff.
It is good.
But at the same time, there's days where it's just like, nope,
Nope,
not today. Because if you come in,
I will chew your head off.
Yep. Or whatever. I'm not in that space.
Yeah.
I will not be helpful to you.
And not every single
nice way to
human
put
can
it.
be in that space,
Yeah.
for the 200 or whatever,
No,
198
not every
days
day.
of school
No.
year.
The people who can, they write books.
Sure.
Sure. I'm not going to write a book.
From their room of solitude
And lies.
and lies. Yeah, that's brilliant. I got to win.
Yeah, cool.
It's a weird one. The against all advice of a few things, because I'm an options teacher. I actually had the kids do a very, very in-depth, with a huge degree or high degree of difficulty assignment, and I thought, there's no way if I get three successes, and I'm going to do it school-wide. So in every one of my classes, I'm doing this assignment, and it's not just so they can be doing something and I don't have to talk, because I actually find that really painful. I actually really struggle with that. So I just said, I'm going to commit to this. And I think it was your words. You said this to me about 6 months ago. You were like, sometimes I do projects and they don't work, and that's okay, because the next day you just say, well, that didn't work. That kind of was a paradigm shift for me, because I think I do have some control freak tendencies too. But the school-wide, every single class, I can say, I had one kid on yesterday. He is digging into some stuff that really were on the fringes of where research can go.
Mm-hmm.
And he just said, I just got to find good research. I got to find some good answers. And I just thought, this is huge for the kids who are running
That's cool.
through this. Yeah, they're like, and again, because it's a lot of archaeology and there's not really good publishings in some of the things, the kids are really digging into this and not stopping at the first level of research, but then going, okay, now here's a guiding question. Let's move to the next level. So that's been really actually a lot of fun to walk the kids through. And again, sometimes when we give kids big activities, then we can take a step back. And I found actually I've done the reverse. I'm more involved with every individual student as they kind of go through. So that's been a really big encouragement for me these last couple of weeks. So it's been really good. Yeah.
Well done.
The fun stuff.
Yay. So what is that? Two wins and a fail.
Yours was a fail.
I know.
Faceplant, but redeemable.
That's okay. It felt good. It was spectacular. It was like one of those, like, it's like when you're skiing, and you fall and like everything comes off and all
Yard
you can
sale.
do when you get back up is like, wow, it was pretty good.
It was a yard sale.
Yeah, that was a pretty fantastic spill. Yeah, so that was basically what that was. It was just like, oh my goodness, faceplant. And the rest of the day didn't go so well either. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Spring break.
Yeah, exactly.
Is
So
coming.
I don't know quite why I landed on this for our topic this month, because I don't usually, usually, we walk in and we're like, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? And then we kind of figure something out. But I guess just like there's a lot of like, I'm on Twitter all the time, and there's a lot of wisdom being tossed around, and some of it's good, some of it's not as good. So I actually just polled a bunch of my followers and like, hey, what are some of your favorite quotes? So secretly I'm kind of worried that we're going to be like crapping on some of the people that I value as part of my PLN, which is not the goal of this at all. No, but not at all. But it's just let's think critically about some of this stuff and have some fun perhaps as well. And I think there's actually some really good stuff in here, and there's some stuff in here. Well, here's one that I didn't get from any particular teacher, but it's the one that kind of planted the seed in my mind. And I think I mentioned on the show a while back anyways, and it's this one, which is a teacher is like a candle. It consumes itself to light the way for others. Yeah, I saw this one.
Okay, but also I feel like we should preface this whole talk about inspirational quotes by saying that I don't know if I can speak for you, but I can definitely speak for Sean and I, but we are I think I'm going to look at every single quote and be like, that's lame. That's so cheesy, but that's my personality. Fair. Some people really love them.
No, I think it's fair, because I think one of the precursors that we have to, or preconditions that we have to look at is Twitter has, and this is an uncomfortable reality for a lot of teachers, has become even though we say to our students, don't evaluate your life on the number of followers you have, we absolutely do that even worse, I would argue, in the teaching world, where it's like, I have this many Twitter followers. Mm-hmm. And I unfollow a lot, so I have to give that as my sort of preconception as I'm coming in here. I unfollow if it's like, here's a quote of the day and here's another quote of the day. I'm like, I'm good. I'm still working on the 181 tweets ago, sort of thing. So, and yet like it wouldn't be my natural home. I would echo that too.
Yeah.
Of like, oh man, I'm going to go on Twitter and find my life first today. But that one, if I can take aim at that one. So teachers are like
a candle, it
candle you
consumes
throw
itself to
away.
light the way for others. Like that one I saw that one like,
yeah, you know what?
Not, right?
That
like,
one is very admirable. If I can take stab at that one, it's admirable. What? It's admirable in the way that, yes, we're lighting the way. However, it comes with a fundamental flaw.
Self-care. You're you're
absolutely
burning at both ends. Like that's.
We've got enough issues in the teaching profession. And I think we have to actually, I would love to see some more PD that's not flaky around self-care.
Yeah.
Because if we're burning out, we're no good to anyone, first of all. And second of all, we are human and individuals who should have lives. And if we don't have lives, your candle is going to burn out, if we're going to use that analogy.
I just feel like it's glamorizing
martyrdom.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, but I mean, I've been there. I've been the little tiny stub of a candle, and it doesn't feel good. No. I don't care if I'm lighting the way. Like if there's
and
nothing
then you
left,
don't really care if you're a teacher or not. Like who cares by that point? I just think that that's like unattainable and not unhealthy.
Well, it's attainable. It's very attainable. You can burn yourself
right
out and light the way
for a sparkling moment.
Yeah.
And then
I think that one is too laced with workaholism as this celebration tactic. And as a teacher's kid, I can say that when my parents, who hopefully aren't currently listening, when they workaholized, that's something.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's absolutely not good. I would actually say, if you want to redefine that as like lighting the way for our students, then show healthy living.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. I could say that in the same respect of like, my mom was a social worker for the majority of her life, and now I'm in social work and education, and I saw her go through seasons of like just completely burning out. And I could say this because I know my parents won't listen to this podcast. But like I saw very dark seasons in her journey. Yeah. And that's not something that I want in my practice. I'm very like hard stop on a lot of stuff. What time I leave work, how much I think about it when I'm home, boundaries around kids. And
that's not you being selfish.
Not at all. And I don't even, there's not even a glimmer of thinking that it's selfishness at all. And in fact, it doesn't register with me when, I talk with other people, other teachers and stuff in the school, and, they're like, wow, you leave like right on the dot. Sure do.
Yeah, good for you.
I sure do. And I don't feel bad about that at all. Mind you, I'm not held to the same standards as teachers are within the education system. Your
loadout looks a little different in a day, right? I mean, there's days where there's days where the bell goes, I'm out of here. There's days where most days I'm here till like, about an hour after the bell, hour and a half after the bell goes, and then got to go pick the kids. But I mean, honestly, there's enough work you can stay here forever. But
for sure.
But
this is sticking with me. But what kind of candles are we talking? Are we talking like the Body Shop, like
IKEA candles,
really nice scented candles?
Bath and Body Works, Sean.
Oh, okay,
it's
that
Bath
one.
And Body
Thank
Works.
you.
Okay. What's the American equivalent of Bath and Body Works? I don't even know. We got a lot of listeners in the U.S.
Candle that smells good.
We got to translate this.
Is from
not a sponsor though.
Okay.
No. Is this ATB candles?
I'll bet you we can find some. All right, we're going to get back to our quotes in just a second, but first I want to tell you about the Edmonton Public Library's podcast, Overdue Finds. It's hosted by Bryce Crittenden and Carolyn Land, and they discuss movies, music, books, and pretty much any sort of popular culture and media you can think of, and likely some you've never thought of. You'll learn more about what you can find at the library, and it comes out every 2 weeks. If you want to know more and listen into all their episodes, you can find the show at epl.ca/podcast. All right. Let's get back to talking quotes.
Thank you.
Okay. What's the American equivalent of Bath and Body Works? I don't even know. We got a lot of listeners in the U.S.
Candle that smells good.
We got to translate this.
It's from
not a sponsor though.
Okay.
No. Is this ATB candles?
I'll bet you we can find some. Here, let's move on to our next quote.
Okay.
I got a pile of them here. This one comes from Noah Daniels. On Twitter, she's at Noah's Bobs. And she says, and I'm baiting you here a little bit, Sean, imperfections are not inadequacies. They're reminders that we're all in this together.
Hallelujah.
Who's that quote from?
I like Noah.
Yeah, that's okay. That's actually.
Did he make up that quote?
No. She? Noah?
She.
Sorry?
Yeah, no. She did not.
Imperfections are
not inadequacies. They are reminders that we're all in this together.
oh,
You know what I
brilliant.
think is really
I was really hoping
refreshing?
you're not gonna like that one because that's
I love that one.
That's from you personally. That's from Brene Brown.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like-
yeah. That
I
sounds
was
like
gonna say. You know what I think is really interesting? I don't know if it's like trendy right now, or maybe people are just talking about it more. But I feel like all the Brene Brown isms, you can almost pick them up as you hear them.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's like a hallowed saint in the social work world. It's like every special guest or every special speaker is all about Brene Brown. Honestly, I say that with the most love in my heart. I think that I hope that we start to celebrate those kinds of things more.
Yeah,
Well-
I think that's so countercultural. I absolutely love that quote. That is an invitation to vulnerability into a space where we can actually be a team as opposed to just having our perfections and our Twitter feeds and our everything else out there for our numbers. I think that is, if we could ever have that in the heart of education system, I think it would revolutionize who we are both as educators and our students, what their lives would look like.
Well, it's that particular quote just reminds me, like, the other day when I had my big face plant, I tweeted it out because like everyone, my tendency, of course, is like, look at this awesome thing I'm doing, and I tweet that stuff out too because it's fun to share that. But I was like, I just had a really horrible thing, and then it was cool because I actually tagged one teacher I know in particular who's like really a proponent of this kind of thinking where it's just hashtag
It's all
teacher
over.
fail.
Yeah.
And it was cool because she just responded. I was like, right on, good. And she thought it was really funny. I'm like, that's cool. I'm glad you think it's funny. That's
There's
comforting,
almost
right?
more camaraderie in
Totally.
In
your,
failure.
like, failing
Yeah.
than there are in successes. Yeah, people are like, oh, good for you, awesome. But I feel like there's more genuine connectedness when you have the vulnerability to be like, hey, I super failed. And then people, reaching out and saying like, oh, I've totally done that too. Or like, hey, this one time. And then you could kind of like laugh about stuff. And in a way, I feel like the connectedness it's just different. It's different than it is for successes.
I think it allows people into your story.
Yeah.
If the imperfections, if you look at a character like Superman, he has no imperfections. How popular is he in comparison to a Batman or a Spider-Man or
Iron
et cetera,
Man,
et
he's
cetera?
my favorite.
Iron Man. Iron Man's
my
the
favorite.
best. Yeah, that's
Oh.
agreed.
We are like angering the nerds right now.
Yeah,
I can tell you right now.
Iron Man is the best.
They're
I'm
in
totally
mass
happy
numbers, you
to.
just leave
You're
it.
comparing
Leave it.
Marvel and DC first
I
of
know,
all,
I
and
know.
then there's a whole like, oh goodness, just Google like Batman versus
I had
Superman. Like
the only authority that I actually have to speak on this is I took one class on superheroes in history, all the way from 1920 to now. But I think it's very interesting in dealing with this imperfection. When we become perfect classroom, et cetera, total trophy, we don't allow our students to engage with anything. So I speak from a place where, because of what I teach, which is primarily religion, if I have all the answers, then the kids will just go, hey, vending machine man, can you give me the answers?
yeah,
If I have imperfection, and I, even today, when they're researching some historical sites, I just say, look, I don't fully know. That allows them to be the hero in their own story. So what we're actually doing in having imperfection, and I think we should do more of this, we allow kids and we allow students to be the hero in their own learning and the hero in their own story. So that may have been debate, but I think I like that quote a lot. Good job, Noah. Keep up the work on Twitter.
she's actually really great. I should have started with this one. This is actually Matt McKee, who's at @try_rebooting. And he actually quoted another teacher on Twitter, the weird teacher, Doug Robertson. That guy's awesome. I had him on the show before, and he's like, you would really like him. You would both like him. He's funny. Anyway, but his quote was, classroom work is complex and layered and difficult, and quotes are easy and soft.
Nice. I like
Should have
it.
started with that one though.
I like
That's a fail right there. Because he fleshed it out quite a bit more in a Twitter thread. But I like that. He's kind of a countercultural thinker. I like him anyway.
I have a friend who works for a design for like an architectural firm. She works in design downtown Edmonton, and they're like very well known, and she's like in one of the tallest buildings downtown, and they have this fabulous feature wall, and in the very center, like huge print, it says insert inspirational quote here. And that's all it says in quotation marks. And
Nice.
she's just like, we get more comments on that wall than any other, and they have like the coolest stuff all over their office, and I always feel like I like that more than any other quote that could go on the wall, but that's also my personality. But
Yeah, I
No
like that.
offense if you love quotes.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we all get our fuel from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So for some of us, it just comes from the places. But we're just a gathering of cynics. So
I know. I just feel like we really need to impress that upon anybody who's listening. It's a bit of a dark crowd some days.
that's all right.
It's called
Okay.
Wednesday.
How about this? This was from, I'm going to butcher this guy's last name, Michael Pingel. I don't know. What do you think? Pingel.
Pingle.
Pingle.
Okay,
It's
Michael
way
Pingle.
more fun to say. If
Who
he's
goes-
listening,
Yes.
he needs to change the way he's saying his name.
As Sean says, so it's Pingle now.
Pingle, it sounds awesome.
Anyways, he's at Pingle Michael. And he
Mr.
just said,
Pingle?
what?
Sorry, I just really like saying Pingle, but it's like,
Oh, no.
Continue.
Oh, no.
Continue.
sorry, we're not even at the quote yet.
Oh,
are we?
my gosh. He just said, you don't have to be great to get started.
I like that.
I like that too. That one. I mean, I don't know. That's one of those quotes I wish I had around when I was starting teaching,
Mr. Pingle.
or really just starting anything. Because
You have to test it out with the name, though. Mr. Pingle, you don't have to be great to get started.
that works.
That's really good.
That would be a really
think that's-
fabulous book title.
You don't have, Mr. Pingle,
Mr.
you don't have to
Pingle?
be great to get started?
Yeah.
Like a kid's book.
yeah.
I know. I already have the character in my mind. You guys, in the theater of our mind, you guys need to, your listeners need to see the room.
Uh-huh.
And you're seeing one person who's particularly tall, kind of looking off into the Netherlands.
This
Because
has
Mr.
become
Pingle,
Pingle is actually
this
Sean.
is a Mr. Pingle's like main character. Again,
All
if
right.
it's a different spelling, then that's, or sounding of the last name, that's different. But
I'm gonna have to edit this out, or he's gonna like demand some sort of, I don't know, residual payment or something. I don't
yeah.
know.
ATB loves you.
Yeah,
There we go. That's edited.
I don't think ATP listens, because if they did, I'd be in trouble.
Sorry.
Okay, this one, I don't know what I want to know what you think about this. This is from at Bill_Huber, and I'm assuming his name is Bill Huber.
Huber.
Stay close to people who feel like sunshine.
Mr. Huber.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty fluffy idea, but
Stay close
I
to
get
people.
what it's trying to say.
yeah,
I get it.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Are you one of those people? Do you feel
Oh,
like sunshine? Like maybe when you're a little too close to the star and it burns and hurts? I don't know.
I think that I naturally shy away from people when I'm like real salty and grouchy.
Mhm.
And if I feel like I'm going to be abrasive and rude, then I just naturally kind of close off. I'd like to hope that I, don't wound people in my grouchiness. I don't know. That's what I'm taking from it anyways.
Can
Yeah,
you say
yeah.
that again? Stay close to people who are full of sunshine.
It says stay close to people who feel like sunshine.
Oh, that's different.
Feel like sunshine.
Not
is
full
a-
of sunshine.
No, not
feel
full of sunshine.
Feel like sunshine.
But like
is
there's
totally
that
different.
one.
Oh, yeah, no, I totally
Yeah.
get that. I think we need to maybe redefine what sunshine looks like.
Mhm.
Because I think if you've got,
No, looks like or feels like.
Feels like.
well, if we define it as like bubbles and adorable and student teacher, and it's like everything is awesome. Is that Lego movie?
Everything is awesome.
Yeah, there we go.
Mhm.
I don't think it's necessarily confined to that. I think we've used darkness and dark a few times in this episode, and I think people confuse that for actual darkness, where I think it's actually passion guarded, passion wisdom, as in being in the trenches.
Mhm.
And I think sometimes we all can relate to that, especially as teachers, where, ambulance drivers have morbid humor. Teachers have somewhat dark humor too, because we deal with such a
Coming
massive.
out with social workers, y'all.
Yeah, well,
It's dark.
yeah,
but
and-
it doesn't take away from me, and I think that's what
Totally.
you're trying to say.
Yeah, it's not that in the darkness binds them. It's actually, oh man, we got references after
Wow.
that.
It's
You are
good.
going to
I
be
like this.
spending
I
a
like
lot.
it.
But it's not the in the
That
darkness
is referring
binds.
to like Lord of the Rings, like
Yeah.
Mordor stuff, and
Yeah,
you're like, no,
we're not
it's good.
talking about that. We're actually talking about, it'd be great to have a Lord of the Rings episode after Frodo comes back. Frodo? Yeah,
Yeah,
Frodo.
Frodo.
After Frodo comes back and goes, man, that was rough. Like it wasn't all bubbles and sunshine and elves and that kind of stuff. Like Samwise might have some PTSD and kind of walking through that, but it's
No, he
not
has a
being.
cute girlfriend or wife. Remember
Oh,
they had
then
babies?
he's fine.
He's fine. He's totally fine.
He's
totally fine.
yeah.
Good, yeah.
He's totally
Life worked out perfect. But
Everybody's perfect.
for the rest of us, it's the be careful what the sunshine actually looks like. Like if you're looking at, for again another reference to Eeyore,
Oh,
I
God,
don't
just
think-
keep them coming.
I don't think we need any reference to Eeyore because that's just like let's all go to the darkness together, smash. I think it's still finding those people who have been in the trenches long enough that actually still point you to life. I think that's a huge asset to have.
Ooh, I
like
like
your
that.
quotes are like 3 for 3 right now.
I also think
well,
that,
I'm really I mean, also don't want to like throw anyone under the bus because I mean,
Fair.
you know, I
I
want to
think
be
it's
nice.
important to determine like what the difference in the, you know, quote unquote sunshine is, right?
Mm-hmm.
If a person feels like sunshine, that may not necessarily mean that is an excellent teacher, an excellent EA. That may not make you feel, that might be fun to be around, and maybe they, you know, inspire you to be better, but it also might be really draining trying to keep up to that kind of energy or those expectations. Whereas maybe your like a healthy view of sunshine would be, you know, coworkers that feel more like friends than coworkers, that acknowledge you when you are having dark days and celebrate when, you know, you have epic fails.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, sunshine is, to me, I just feel like sunshine, be close to people that feel like sunshine would be people that fill me up. And, you know, it's just, it doesn't take from me because, I don't know. I'm a sun worshiper myself, but the sun never takes from me. It only gives.
It only gives. Skin cancer.
Oh, wait.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Cancer jokes. Awesome. It's okay. I had cancer, so I get to make them. So it's all good. All right. Oh, here's one from Kavita Batra 77. I believe her name is probably Kavita Batra.
What is the last name? Because we've done this with Pingle,
Batra.
Huber, Bantra,
Batra, Batra. There's not much you can do with that one.
Mrs. Batra,
I don't know.
Mr. Batra.
No, it's Miss. It's at least.
Oh, Miss
It's
Batra.
Kavita.
Hey, Batra!
Kavita
You just have to
Batra.
test it out. It's like testing out forks and knives before you buy them.
Okay.
Just test it out.
How do you? Okay, never mind.
Next time I come on a podcast,
I'm mostly
I don't know if I
looking
wanna
for
do it.
irritation. I'm mostly looking for irritation level.
Yeah,
There's
we're going to add the
nothing-
no
You know
Sean
what?
to your
In the
Reddit.
You don't
Theater
feel
of
like
the
sunshine
mind.
right now.
In the,
You don't feel like sunshine.
in the theater of the mind, what you're witnessing is frustration.
We can hear it. We can feel it. We can feel it. Okay. Anyway,
And-
she
and joy.
shared.
Sorry. Keep
Okay.
going.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. My show. She shared no one should teach who is not in love with teaching.
Did you save that for like, what did you save that quote for?
No one,
What do you mean?
Did you time that to be like that?
No.
Say it again. Well, I just feel
no
like I
one
need to
in
hear it
love
again.
should be teaching.
No one should teach who is not in love with teaching.
Wow.
Really?
That just, I mean, the reason I kind of pulled that one out is because whenever you have something that says no
Polarizing?
one, never, always, like,
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
know like when I used to teach English back in the day when I was a real teacher, you know, I always tell the kids that you don't put statements like that into your writing because, you know, you can't have a blanket statement like that. But then now I'm racking my brain. It's like, well, is there a case where you're teaching and you're not in love with it? And if you're not in love with it, should you leave it? I mean, I know for me, like, man, there's days where I am not in love with teaching. Like even like, yesterday I went home and I was like to drive my wife home and, you know, she was like, how was your day? And it began with, well, let me tell you. And then it was just like avalanche, just like, whoa, because they just like, I mean, after my fail was like kind of humorous and whatever. But after that, I ran out of fuel in the middle of my day and it was just crash and burn. Like I kept it together for my students. I did. I was a nice person.
Professional.
But by the end of it, I was carrying a load.
Yeah.
And so I just had to read it out. And like not so much in love with what I was doing that day. Today, like I'm charged up. I had a great day. I mean, maybe it has something to do with the fact that I spent all afternoon doing film studies with my students, which is like
The dream.
the best thing in the world. But I mean, I don't know. It still is just, it's got something in the back of my mind. It's like, really?
No one should teach that's not in love with teaching.
Yeah.
Does that?
Okay, but have you guys ever had a teacher that you could just tell hated their job?
Yeah, and they didn't last long.
Yeah.
Or
that's
some of
true.
them last forever.
Yeah, that's very
Yeah.
true. Oh man, you're right.
Yeah.
It makes an impression on you.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. There's like, why
Should
are
we-
you here? Yeah.
Should we be in love with teaching though, or should we be in love with our students?
Or have you guys ever had a prof who's in love with their subject,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
not teaching at all?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh, yeah, I
That
have
would
math
be
prof
my
like that.
concern. Would be that because I think, where did I see this? I think I saw it on a resume or on a student teacher or something. Not on a student teacher, but somebody made the comment, "I just love teaching my subject." I kind of went, well, then like find an empty room and teach it. But I think the primary, and maybe this is just my mode of teaching. I love the kids, the end. And then the teaching stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes we give it too much credit where it's like, if we don't teach them, they will never learn it. Well, there's this thing
You're
called.
passionate about what you teach.
No, I love teaching what I teach. I absolutely do. But it's because the students.
Yeah. You wouldn't do it to an empty room.
No, I would lose my mind. I spend all of my August writing curriculum every year, and I do it for 8 to 10 hours a day. I kind of love it, but only with the intent of seeing the students of that next year in my mind, in the theater of my mind. Yeah. But otherwise, it's, I don't know. For me, I would change that to, if you're not in love with students,
well, let me interject another quote. I just happen to have one right here that fits very well from @Mr. P. Strunk. It's Phil Strunk, and
that's
he said,
a good name.
He is. He's a good guy too. I've had him on the show.
Phil Struck.
Phil Strunk.
Oh, Strunk.
Strunk.
Dude,
you're attached to names today. What's going on?
I love it. These are great names. I got main characters from my kid's story coming up.
There you go.
Super awesome.
Mr. Strunk and was it Mr.
and Mr. Pingle?
Mr. Pingle were walking down the street.
Oh man, Strunk's super built and just taking on everyone.
Continue with the thing. Continue.
Sorry about that.
That's right. Okay, but anyways, he said, and this is getting right back to what you're saying. You don't teach insert content here. You teach kids.
Wow, that's good.
Right?
Love it.
Yeah. And this straight up, right?
Done and done.
Done and done.
Look at that. You just changed two people who said at the beginning of this conversation, well, I don't know, you're going to get, I just said, I had said that I felt like I needed to preface this by saying we're probably going to pick apart every quote. And then all of a sudden through this conversation, and then you just put that in, and we were both like, oh.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
That's good. Well, I think we prefaced it well enough anyway, right? Honestly, I'm picking stuff like, I had one person, Don Sturm, thank you very much. He shared 273 quotes.
Wow.
Like a link to a website with 273 quotes. And I was like, that's a lot. So he's got a huge website, and maybe I'll share that in the show notes. But I honestly didn't pull any of them from there.
I think it's just more
it's like, whoa.
The primary struggle we had was the sort of way that we have all these quotes in an avalanche of uncurated Twitter.
Yeah.
Where it's teacher, 18 quotes pre-programmed per day. Mm-hmm. Whereas this, you actually can walk through story with these.
Mm-hmm. Well, another thing I had to make sure of too, like anytime I had a quote that was attributed to somebody, I went and I checked to see, is it appropriate? Is it the right person? Right?
Proper citations.
Yes, exactly. So there's a couple that I didn't include because I was like, the provenance of that particular thing is not very good. So, or not very clear. So anyway, I think we've definitely kicked around enough of these for a while. I think we get it. So why don't we just move on? I think we've swam in the waters of quotes long enough. So let's move on to our timeouts. I'm excited about timeouts, and thank you to everyone who contributed to this show unwittingly. I just asked this question on Twitter. I was like,
I'm curious about the rest of the quotes.
Well, do you want to do rapid fire?
Yeah, just do a couple.
Okay. I knew that. Kate, I've done that one. To make a difference in someone's life. This is from Hardest at Work. Kate Lindquist. She's also been on the show. How about that? To make a difference in someone's life, you have to be brilliant. No, you don't have to be brilliant, rich, beautiful, or perfect. You just have to care. And that's from Mandy Hale. One from Rachel Marker, also been on the show. Sensing a theme here. She's at Rachel Marker. The most damaging phrase, I like this one. The most damaging phrase in the English language is, quote, "It's always been done that way."
Oh, I love that one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's from Grace
fantastic.
Hopper.
See, I think it'd be brilliant to actually have roundtable discussion, PD session. Let's put these things up there as our statements of professionalism and inspiration, because I think we could all use a space where it's not that we're solving something. It's like, oh, now I feel inspired. Mm-hmm. It's actually, we're glimpsing goodness.
Yeah.
And I think and again, not that our kids are bad. Our kids are fantastic. Yeah. But we go through so much of our day, and it's just like give away, to actually spend some time in just goodness. So for your listeners who have the theater of the mind on, which is probably just me, I was closing my eyes as you were walking through those quotes, because I think this is where we don't get to glimpse this a lot.
Right on. Okay, I will end with this one. This one's from at Stephen_Hurley, who's actually the head of the Voice Ed Radio Network, which Ed is a member of. And this is a guy who's like, he thinks deeply about everything.
He's got a great last name
too.
too.
He's philosophy dude. Anyway, he quoted from T.S. Eliot, who said, "We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time."
It's a good word.
It's good word. Yeah. Thanks, T.S. All right. Timeouts.
Okay. Well, I can go
Okay.
because I've had a lot of time, extra time.
Oh,
these
wow. Well,
days.
good for you.
Well, here in good old Alberta, the weather has started to greatly. It's sun shining, the snow is melting, and I have been outside for walks every night with the kids, and they're, purposely going through the mud and all the puddles.
Of course they are.
Yeah, so the laundry is a lot, but the walk outside, the sunshine has definitely helped a lot.
Yeah. So your timeout is just the
Plus,
world.
also they ride their bikes far away from me, and then I could think because they're away from me.
Nice. Good parenting right there.
Super good parenting.
Go away.
Go away from me.
As long as there's, they're watching out for traffic and crossroads and you're good. You're fine.
I got a timeout.
Yeah. Oh, do you?
I have. It's not snowboarding related, so that's nice. Although that is a good one. I took 4 classes for fun, and it's gone really well. I mean, there's some challenging things where you have to do things like read a textbook and all that kind of stuff. But
Answer questions.
Yeah, but I think it's the journey of like, I'm doing this for myself. And sure, it moves me up the pay grid and all that kind of stuff, but it's mostly just the space to, I wouldn't say I've overly loved this is funny as teacher, as the educational environment of learning facts and learning memorization terms, but it's the space where just something away from the school, kind of a reminder. I think that's basically it. And the fact that I'm going through them quickly is also very helpful too. So
your timeout has been more education.
Yeah, it's kind of a terrible one, isn't it? That's maybe indicative.
No, it's all good. I mean, you know what? If it's
health.
a timeout is just like something takes you away from this.
Yeah, I will say this. It actually, one of the classes I'm taking is Spanish, and I've always had that in my goal list. And so I finally went this year and I just said, I'm going to take this for absolutely no reason other than I want to learn Spanish. And so that will be a good timeout. I'm just in the midst of a couple classes that my ambitions are not quite so lofty. It's more just, I am taking these to get these done. So thanks, T.S. Eliot. It's the place that we go and we do stuff and then we come back and we have more credits to our name. So sorry, I just butchered T.S. Eliot's.
More credits, eh?
It's all good.
Credits. Yeah. That's, so yeah, that's kind of my timeout. I
Awesome.
wouldn't say it's overly relaxing, but usually when I write papers, I put music in my ears and
What?
Right.
That's great.
What?
Oh yeah, no, it actually, I finally learned this after how many years of university. I listen to music. I slow myself right down. I wrote a 14-page paper. It was really fun.
Awesome.
And then I was done.
While listening to music?
Yeah.
While listening to music
how can you hear your own
and
thoughts?
oh, it's beautiful because you're actually just writing. You're not writing from academic like this is what the bird did. Like you're actually writing. This is my thought. And
it's funny. I've come to that too. Like only in the last year, listening to music, but I can't have lyrics. If there's lyrics, I'm out. My brain shuts
I
off.
have to be in the echoing silence of nothingness to produce work.
My best.
I have to. It's terrible.
My best space now is music, 3 screens on, and then my other screen. So watching news, and then all my distractions are instantly solved, and so I can just go. This is awesome. And also one of them was I have Huntington Beach live cam on the one screen. So I'm like, oh, here I am. I'm on the beach overlooking my $7 million place. Nice. And I'm writing a paper because I'm a snob. So
nice.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I got on spur of the moment. I'm gonna do 2. I'm gonna do 2 timeouts because I just had one yesterday, and I have to share it just because I love the name of it. I bought a beer yesterday based solely on the name because it's called Space Goat.
Ooh.
And it's like it's got this like sort of 70s era sci-fi poster of like this goat in like a spacesuit with like a laser gun.
Ooh, I love it.
And it's an oat lager or an ale, oat ale, but it's really light and it's a little bit hoppy and it's delicious. It's really, really good. So yeah, it kind of reminded me of Kona Big Wave. If you ever had that.
Space Goat.
Oh goodness, all the beer recommendations coming out. Blah. But anyways, Space Goat. It's fantastic. And the other one is I'm in love with this animated film. I'm looking for films for my students this year, and I found this one called A Town Called Panic, and I've been recommending it just to like everybody because it's so funny. It's a French film, and all done with toys, kind of like Robot Chicken style, but even less fidelity. So it's like the toys are like, they actually have like, that little plastic platform that binds their feet together. So they're kind of wobbling around, and it's all in French with like these ridiculous voices. It's like grown men talking like with these falsetto weird voices. And there's 3 characters. There's a cowboy, an Indian, and a horse, who are named Cowboy, Indian, and Horse. And the entire film is about them trying to get their bricks back that have been stolen by these underwater creatures. And
how did you find it?
I was looking around on, there's a timeout for you, Canopy. Canopy.com with a K is through our library. I don't know how accessible it is outside of that, but it's a fantastic selection of like really great movies. You're not going to find like Marvel and Disney there, but you're going to find like Oscar nominated short films from, 10, 20, 30 years ago.
How did you find it?
Just because through my library, I was like looking for something, and then like it's on Canopy. I'm like, I should look this up. And then, I have a membership to Canopy. Awesome. Yay. So I've watched some really great movies on there. Lots of like Oscar nominated short films, which are perfect for my class. And so goodness, that's a flurry of timeouts for me.
Space Goat though.
Space Goat. Yeah.
In my children's book, Mr. Pingle and Space Goat go off to a town called Panic. It's brilliant.
Oh, what about Mr. Strunk?
Well, he's the superhero. He comes along after, and he destroys all the world. I mean, for the good. So, but that's spoiler alert. I can't give that away in my book.
Okay, well, we'll check back in on that one a little later and see how that's coming.
All the drawings must be in 70s
style.
Done.
Yeah,
that's my timeout. I will design it tonight.
Beautiful.
Mr. Pingle and Space Goat and Mr.
Strunk. Mr. Strunk.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's so fantastic. All right. Well, I think we've done it. I think that's it. We're done.
That's it?
We made it.
Okay.
I think that was the best check-in we've ever had.
Oh, cool.
This episode of Ed is brought to you by the Alberta Podcast Network. It's a group of Alberta-made podcasts about every topic imaginable, including the show Tomato Radio. If you like to eat or drink, which I'm assuming you do, Tomato Radio is a great podcast to listen to. It's all about food and drink, and it's hosted by Mary Bailey and Amanda Leneve. Each week, they talk about food and drink and whatever's going on around Edmonton to do with those 2 things. Definitely worth a listen if you're looking into some good eats and drinks. You can find that and all the other in-network shows over at albertapodcastnetwork.com. And as always, if you want to get in touch or you'd like to be a guest on the show, you can email me at theedpodcast@gmail.com or hit me up on Twitter at theedpodcast. If you'd like to listen to more of Ed, you can head over to the website, theedpodcast.podbean.com, or find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the podcatcher of your choice. Just search up Ed Conversations and look for the blue apple. Ed can also be heard on Voice Ed Radio. It's 24-hour internet broadcasting devoted to the best ideas in education. Just head over to voiced.ca. So, on behalf of myself, Sean, Jessica, thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.